Hey everybody, welcome to the Geek Generation. I'm your host, Rob Logan, joined in the studio by Anna.
Hello.
And Paulo.
For the watch.
For the watch. Oh, so we're already Game of Thronesing.
We're 1 month out.
Is it really? It's like May, right?
No, April 24th.
April 24th?
Yeah.
Wow, we are 1 month out.
We're 1 month away.
Wow. One thing after another. Yeah, I mean, it's Daredevil going on right now. It's Superman, Batman v Superman coming after that. We got Civil War. We got Game of Thrones. We got everything.
Silicon Valley is coming out at the same time.
So many things.
We're not going to be able to breathe.
We're going to have to put the podcast on hiatus for a little while.
Sorry, but when we come back, holy crap, are we going to have stuff to talk
exactly, just to consume all the things, basically. All right, so we're going to get into a whole bunch of news that we haven't gotten to in a while. There's been some big announcements, so we'll start with one of the biggest first. Indiana Jones will return to the big screen on July 19th, 2019 for a fifth epic adventure in the blockbuster series. Steven Spielberg, who directed all 4 previous films, will helm Indiana Jones 5 with star Harrison Ford reprising his iconic role. How do we feel?
Boo.
Fine by me.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. It's with Crystal Skull, it was like...
I didn't hate that.
I didn't hate Crystal
didn't
Skull
hate
either. Yeah.
I didn't like it. It like left a bad taste in my
I
mouth.
thought that it was so normal Indiana Jones stuff. Like, I thought it was very in character. And
My only problem with Crystal Skull was Shia LaDoofus is in it. Aside from that, I really wasn't that put off. Like, everyone's like, aliens. I'm like, how is that any less
Different
ridiculous than anything else we've seen as an artifact?
Yeah.
Every time I think of Crystal Skull, I think of that, you know, that meme of the guy from the History Channel where he's just like, aliens.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. That's true. Who looks like the Eugene, the wrestler from WWE, who very well could be the same guy.
It very well could be.
I think Nick Dinsmore or whatever his name is. But just as in people being like, even if you didn't like Crystal Skull, like people didn't like the prequels for Star Wars, and then we got The Force Awakens. So more of the thing that I like could be better. It's not a reboot. That's the important part.
Right.
That's the important part.
Sure.
This is not trying to be Ghostbusters and being like, hey, we got a new movie for you, but it has nothing to do with the other one, but we're going to pretend like it kind of does, but we're not entirely sure how we're presenting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody knows.
It's very confusing, but I'm excited for more of the thing I love.
We'll see. I really should have just been like, I'll give it a shot, because that's like the kind of attitude that I've been trying to adopt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear something is coming, I'm instead of just like knee-jerk reacting to it like, oh, fuck this thing. Like, you know, just like being like, okay, maybe I should give it a shot because it might be good.
You're trying not to instant nerd rage.
Basically.
Yeah.
Good policy. Good policy.
Yeah. Game of Thrones. Speaking of Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones star Finn Jones has been cast as Danny Rand, aka Iron Fist, for the upcoming Marvel Netflix series. Iron Fist is among the many master martial arts, having grown up in the immortal city of Kunlu. Heir to the Rand Corporation, Danny uses his family's wealth to help the poor in New York City, and has also been a consistent ally for Luke Cage as the pair started the Heroes for Hire business together. The Iron Fist series will see Daniel Rand returning to New York City after being missing for years. There he fights against the criminal element corrupting New York City with his incredible kung fu mastery. I love that phrase. Incredible kung fu mastery and ability to summon the awesome power of the fiery Iron Fist. The whole thing sounds like a pitch for an action figure.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I really have no like super familiarity with Iron Fist, so I'm not disappointed. I'm not necessarily excited. There was a big push to have an actor of Asian descent play Iron Fist, even though he's a typical white male in the comic book. I know I personally was hoping for Daniel. Is it Daniel Wu?
He's busy.
Daniel Wu,
Yeah. And he's doing movies and stuff. He did Warcraft. Into the Badlands was badass. And he would have been an awesome Iron Fist, I think.
But I mean, like, the controversy around it is weird. Like, I read a couple of articles after they announced that he was being cast, and it was like on one hand, it was the comic book nerds who were like, yeah, but this character is white, like in the comics. Like he's a white guy that goes to seek ancient Eastern knowledge.
Right.
And then gains the power by apparently punching a dragon in the heart.
Really?
Yeah. And then
Are they going to show that?
I hope so.
I know it's all a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
I know that.
Like, and he gets this mystic power. Like he has like kung fu skills, but he also gets like this mystic power from like either I'm pretty sure it's like punching a dragon somehow, and then he's Iron Fist. So like if you go according to the comics, if you stay faithful to the comics, yeah, he should be white. But I mean, a lot of articles from like the other side of the aisle, from like people who are like social justice activists and like people who are advocates for like more color in Hollywood are like, well, you had an opportunity to cast an Asian in a hit Marvel series. Why didn't you? But it's like, I see it both ways, but at the same time, like it's kind of like you have so many other opportunities for casting people, for casting Asian Americans in roles. But I mean, for some reason you're picking on this one because Iron Fist is like a person with like mystical Eastern
I was
powers.
thinking the same thing. Like, is it almost racist for us to be like, oh, he's a martial arts guy, let's make him Asian?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like reversed. It's like it's more racist to cast him because that's a stereotype.
You're picking the stereotype and you're saying, oh, an Asian person should be in this role.
Yeah.
Like when in fact there is evidence to the contrary that he shouldn't be Asian. Like, see the source material. Right. Like, I think his mentor is like the typical like mystical Asian
absolutely
dude.
Yeah.
So they have an opportunity there, but the actual main character, Iron Fist, is a white dude.
Yeah, like why wasn't the outcry for Luke Cage being an Asian actor?
Yeah, like
you're like, well, he's black in the comics. Perfect opportunity for him to be an Asian guy.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I think it comes at a weird time, especially like after the Oscars and that whole like, weird Asian joke that Chris Rock made. But I mean, I kind of side with the casting decisions that they made. I mean, you find a guy who's good for the role. I mean, he's white. The comic book character is white. There are arguments to having him be, Iron Fist. Let it be.
Yeah.
Find another role to pick on, so to speak. I mean,
as far as I know, Finn Jones has no martial arts training,
right?
But it's something that they do give you some training toward. And it's not like Charlie Cox is this master martial artist doing things for Daredevil. You have the costume. Nobody's going to know that it's not actually the actor in the suit for most of the action scenes.
Right.
And Iron Fist is not a difficult costume.
No.
It's like a yellow bandana and green pants.
They're going to have to play around with that a little bit because the comic book version is a little ridiculous.
And they're going to be
It's got like the deepest V cut on this shirt you've ever seen.
Yeah, and
big
like
collar.
And Finn Jones, I mean, I've seen him, we've seen him in Game of Thrones. Like he has like some stage combat chops because you've seen him like fight with other actors on the show. I don't think he's been in like a real battle, but he was like doing like sparring with other people while being courted by the Baratheon kid. I forgot his name. But yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see the costume, though. I'd really like to see the costume.
I'm very curious about the costume. Yeah.
Otherwise, Finn Jones is going to have to be in the gym like 6 hours a day because that's just like all abs all day.
I feel like he's going to have to anyway because they're going to do a shirtless shot because they have to at some point. It's like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And as a martial artist, you got to be ripped to even make that believable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He's going to start now. Immediately.
Start cutting.
He's gonna have to start retroactively getting in shape for this. Speaking of Marvel and Netflix and Marvel Entertainment have announced that everyone's favorite hero for hire will be making his way to Netflix later this year, as Marvel's Luke Cage will premiere September 30th of this year.
Nice.
And the trailer actually dropped on YouTube today.
Oh, it did? Okay.
It's a 30-second like blip.
I heard it was a teaser that was at first exclusive to people that made it through Daredevil.
Yeah.
So you could only watch it on Netflix. It was like tacked on to the end of the last episode.
Yeah, once you get through it's kind of like a post-credit scene to the series.
Oh, Marvel.
Yeah.
But you and your post-credits.
Earlier today, I saw it on somebody's somebody's Facebook page.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been long before. Yeah.
but it was an official drop, I think.
Oh, okay.
From what I saw, but or it was a very good recording of the clip. But it's great. It's I don't think I'm spoiling anything. It's 30 seconds long. Luke Cage sees a bunch of bad guys in a gym. He's like, "You must not know who I am."
Mm-hmm.
They proceed to empty clips of bullets into him, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm tired of having to buy new clothes."
That's funny.
And then you see the title card of Luke Cage.
Nice. I like it. Excited for Luke Cage, who was really great in Jessica Jones. So.
Yeah, he looks great. Like in the clip that I saw,
Mhm.
like I'm hyped.
Cool. The world's greatest superheroes return to television in Justice League Action, an all-new one would hope it would be a half hour, but no. An all-new quarter-hour animated series from Warner Brothers Animation coming soon to Cartoon Network.
What?
Justice League Action marks the return of Kevin Conroy, beloved by fans worldwide as one of the most iconic voices of Batman, to a weekly animated television series. The series will also deliver an all-star lineup of regular and guest cast voices, including Mark Hamill as Joker, James Woods as Lex Luthor, Diedrich Bader as Booster Gold, and many more portraying your favorite DC Comics superheroes and supervillains.
Why?
What's a quarter hour?
Like
Why?
15
I know,
minutes.
like I know what
Why?
15 minutes, but like
minus commercials.
Yeah.
like
Why?
I don't know if I've seen a quarter hour show.
I think Adult Swim, something like that, I think made it more
okay.
popular. But my guess would be that it's actually a half-hour show, and it will be like 2 15-minute segments
okay.
like Teen Titans Go does,
Mhm.
or they're going to split up that half hour by having Justice League Action as one of the 15-minute segments and Teen Titans Go as the other 15 for that half hour of programming.
Jesus Christ, ADD culture
Yeah,
at its
right?
finest.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
know they cut Sesame Street down to a half an hour and moved it to HBO.
Oh,
I'm like,
wait.
so now only
It's on HBO?
Yeah.
So now only rich kids can watch Sesame Street. I
I
wanna
did
cry.
not know about
Yeah,
that.
it's awful.
They acquired
Yeah.
HBO acquired
Yeah.
the Sesame Street.
Wow.
Yeah.
And made it a half an hour. And I don't know this. This is just something I'm guessing
Mhm.
that half of that is Elmo's world.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's
I've
also
very
without
disappointing.
commercials.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was
though.
an hour without commercials before.
So it's really missing 12 minutes of programming?
Yeah.
No, it used to be an hour with
Right.
no commercials.
Oh, with no commercials?
Yeah, PBS doesn't have commercials.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
commercials on PBS. So
I
it
didn't even
used to
think of
be a
that.
full hour with no commercials.
Oh.
And now it's 30 minutes.
No.
It's very sad. And it was made for like poverty-stricken inner city kids, and now it's on HBO.
Right.
Ugh.
Nobody can afford Sesame
Right.
Street.
Yeah, it's awful.
That sucks.
I was really hoping they would make it to their 50th year, like just the way they had started.
Yeah.
But now, no.
But Justice League Action, I don't know if you guys have seen the artwork for it. It definitely looks more kiddie for sure. So I'm thinking this is the Justice League version of something like a Teen Titans Go. Like it's going to be made for kids, and that's fine.
Mm.
It's just not a show I'm necessarily going to be
Yeah.
interested in that if that's the case. My only disappointment is that this is where Kevin Conroy is going to be Batman again, and he is the quintessential Batman. It might not be a show really for me.
And Mark Hamill.
And Mark Hamill, now this is interesting too, because Hamill had said he was done with the Joker. And then he said the only time he would come back is if they did The Killing Joke as an animated movie, which they are doing, and he is providing the voice of Joker for. And now all of a sudden he's back in Justice League Action.
They put
as
it in
Joker.
tiny little itty bitty
Yeah.
writing at the bottom of his contract. They're like, "Oh snap! Look what you have to do."
So not done with Joker after all. Which,
Or-
you know what, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
again, in something I might not be interested in.
they could have just backed a dump truck of money up to his house and been like, "Can you just record like
It's a 15-minute show, dude.
13 hours of Joker for us? That way we can stretch it out over 3 seasons or
Right.
something, you know?" Like,
It's just going to be stitched together. They just have him doing like little phrases here and there, and
Yeah.
then they just cut it all up.
like do the laugh and say a couple key lines.
Yeah.
And then we'll just edit together the
Yeah,
rest.
they just have a Joker switchboard. That's the whole show.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'll watch it out of pure curiosity, but I think I need to see like an animated trailer or something first. I can't really go on just the artwork itself.
I mean, there's such a vacuum for like DC animated stuff that's on TV. I
Mhm.
mean, there's only a few, and the few that do exist are not that great. So it's like it'll occupy a space, but if anything better is developed or comes along, then it's gonna fall flat.
Right.
Like,
right.
yeah.
So here's the artwork actually right there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely for kids.
Yeah. Looks very much so for children.
No muscles, Batman.
No, I mean Batman's smiling.
Batman's smiling.
That's
Superman
how you know right
really
away.
Doesn't have eyes.
No,
There's no whites to his eyes.
Which is weird
black
because
dots.
Wonder Woman does. So
Right?
they're just all over the place.
They don't know
design
what
wise.
they're doing.
It is, but they look almost like teenagers.
Yeah.
So I think this is definitely for a younger crowd. But we shall see. At the recent South by Southwest Festival, Telltale Games revealed some details about their upcoming Batman series, which is now slated for release this summer. The game seems to be focusing on the duality of being both Bruce Wayne and Batman, and will explore the consequences of the player's actions when decisions made as Bruce Wayne have a critical impact on his nightly crusade as Batman, and vice versa. This will be a fresh interpretation of the universe set in current times and not tied to any existing iteration of Batman in games, film, or comics. The story will focus on Bruce and Batman and won't be an examination of the extended Bat family, but will include series staples such as Alfred Pennyworth, Vicky Vale, James Gordon, and Renee Montoya. Graphically, the team is committing to a non-photorealistic interpretation of the universe to deliver a more seamless, living comic book art direction, taking inspiration from the works of over 75 years of artists such as Jim Lee, Greg Capullo, and Neil Adams. Like other Telltale games, the game will be landing with an M rating, and the cinematic approach will feel more akin to an R-rated movie. I am happy about pretty much everything they said there.
Yeah. I like that they are drawing inspiration from Jim Lee,
Mm-hmm.
because Jim Lee Batman is
the best Batman.
my favorite Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
Jim Lee Batman, Michael Turner Batman, and Ed McGuinness Batman
Yep.
are like my three favorites. And they're all very different
Yeah.
from each other, but
Like there
I love
are
them all.
certain people who play Batman, who voice Batman, who
Mhm.
draw Batman, who are like, that is the person who is responsible for that particular like thing of Batman.
yeah,
And, like
yeah.
for me, because Jim Lee did Batman like early 90s, 2000s,
Mhm.
and then he picked it up again in like the mid 2000s again, right?
Mhm.
So like but I remember that artwork and thinking like, oh, this is the Batman that I want. Like, I don't want Batman versus Robin Batman.
Right,
You know? Like,
right.
This is amazing because he's like so dark and he's like mad like all the time, and it made me so happy.
And he's right there on my wall.
Yeah.
I got a big Jim Lee Batman poster
Yep.
in the studio. I love it. But I'm very, very excited for this game. I'm happy to see that they're not afraid to really bring it with the adult themes and everything. Like I had talked about the Game of Thrones game that they did a
Mhm.
little while ago, and they weren't afraid to go into a lot of areas. The only area that they didn't really go in was into sexuality at all,
Mm.
which is kind of a staple of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed that wasn't really a part of the game. But when it comes to video games, you put in like any sexual content and people
Yeah.
flip out just because they still see it as a medium more geared towards children.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because Telltale has kind of separated itself from that sort of, I mean, at least for gamers, like people don't think of Telltale games as for kids
Right.
because it doesn't.
Not anymore, at least.
It
They
doesn't
used to
really
be.
draw like kids because kids want to be able to play a video game.
Mhm.
They don't want to play a story.
Right.
You know? That's more geared towards like young adults and adults. Like we want to experience a story and just happen to have it as in a video game format.
Mhm.
So, I mean, yeah, it is a little weird that there's no sexual content in the Game of Thrones thing because like our friend Ian McShane on the newest season of Game of Thrones said,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is really just about tits and dragons.
That is what he said.
So,
That does not make me want to watch that show.
it's kind of like an exaggeration.
It is.
Like a lot of people have kind of been drawn to that quote because he was talking whole nother story.
Right, right. I had some similar reservations about Game of Thrones before I started watching. I thought it was just going to be like a skin fest and really just exploitation and everything. And it really wasn't. Like nothing feels, there's a lot of nudity and there's a lot of sexuality, but nothing feels like they were crowbarring it in for that
Yeah.
purpose.
Season
So,
1 was a little,
Season 1, maybe a little bit.
but after that, it was just like it was there for a purpose. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might have done it a little bit just to get everybody's attention.
Yeah. Look, everybody, tits.
Yeah.
Now that I have your attention,
Here's the story.
here was the story.
Yeah. But very excited for the Batman Telltale game. I will definitely give more information as it comes out, and I'm sure there will be more in the near future. So excited.
Mhm.
The Walt Disney Company has announced that in lieu of a theatrical sequel, a Big Hero 6 series will be making its way to Disney XD in 2017. In production now, the Big Hero 6 series will pick up where the film left off as Hero is enrolled at San Francisco Institute of Technology, where he will go up against daunting academic challenges and the social trials of being the little man on campus. Off campus, the stakes are raised for the high-tech heroes as they must protect their city from an array of scientifically enhanced villains.
I am hype. And there's a good reason why, because
Yeah.
I like Big Hero 6, but more importantly, my son likes Big Hero 6, and I'm fucking tired of watching that goddamn movie like 30 times a day, and I would like some new content, please.
And if there was just a sequel, you would have to watch that 30 times a day.
Yeah, like Big Hero 6 is my son's Frozen.
Oh, yeah?
Like, because you know how like a lot of parents, they complain that they have to watch Frozen
Sure,
over and over again.
sure.
We skillfully avoided that, because every time we saw Frozen on TV, we were like, oh, none of this here, and we would just change the channel. Unfortunately, like we were very much like I like Big Hero 6. My wife liked it, so we recorded it, and and it's just been on our DVR ever since. But the big mistake with that was, I mean, it's obviously like, look, big robot marshmallow,
Yeah.
like little kid that kind of looks like you.
Yeah.
And he's like so drawn to it now. He's like, I want to watch Baymax. I want to watch Baymax like 30 times a day.
He thinks the movie is called Baymax.
Yeah, it's
probably,
not called
yeah.
Big Hero 6. It's called Baymax.
Yeah. It's probably similar to a lot of kids.
Or
It was
like-
like the opposite was Tangled. Everybody
Yeah.
thought that Rapunzel's name was Tangled.
Yeah.
They'd be
Yeah.
like, who's that? Tangled.
That's what the movie's called.
Yeah. So I'm hyped for a new series, because new content is always welcome.
Yeah. I love Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
I did want to see a sequel, but if this is what we're getting, and I'm pretty sure it's not CGI.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The art style that they presented, at least on the promotional image, they only had Baymax there, but it was a flat image. It
Mhm.
wasn't some 3D looking thing. So I'm assuming they're going with more of an animation style look.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm pumped for anything more in that world, really. So I can see how this would support a series more so than a lot of other movies.
Yeah, you could do
because
like
they've
a
built
Monster
a
of the-
world.
Yeah, you could do like a Monster of the Week kind of thing, or you could build like a background supervillain that's going to be like your big bad,
Mhm.
and there's also like the whole other dimension of like incorporating the school life to it.
Right.
And that's not really something that you see a lot of on like American TV,
Mhm.
from what I remember. I mean, at least for like cartoons and stuff, So
Yeah. Disney XD has announced a new LEGO Star Wars series set to premiere this summer. LEGO Star Wars The Freemaker Adventures is an all-new animated adventure comedy series that will introduce new heroes and villains in exciting adventures with many familiar Star Wars characters. Set in the time between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, The Freemaker Adventures follows the Freemakers, a family of scavengers who build and sell starships from the scoured debris of space battles strewn throughout the galaxy. When their youngest discovers a natural connection with the Force through an ancient artifact, the Kyber Saber, his world is turned upside down, and he and his family are thrown into an epic struggle against the Empire to restore peace and freedom to the galaxy. Throughout their adventures, the Freemakers explore new worlds, meet new and familiar characters, and learn the true value of what it means to be a family.
Oh. More Lego all the time. Good.
Yes.
yeah.
Lego stuff is awesome.
Always.
So good.
Yeah.
And to see a Star Wars series that is going to be straight comedic for the most part, and in that Lego humor, is even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I
I'm
like how
down.
they're like builders and they build starships.
Yeah, right.
They're
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah. She's making the Lego building noises.
click, 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 click.
like I like how the story too is sort of inconsequential. Like it doesn't focus on like a main character, or like it's not heavily invested in like the Jedi or the Sith. It's
Mhm.
like these are just people who exist in the universe. Follow their story.
Right.
Like it's one of the reasons why like I enjoy Star Wars Rebels, which is the animated series that's on
Mhm.
Disney XD now, but because it delves so heavily into like the Jedi, especially after like the Clone Wars,
Mhm.
like what's happening, or
Yeah,
what's going
yeah.
to happen. These people don't exist now,
Right.
and we're already at the Force Awakens, and Disney has sort of acknowledged that all of their content is sort of tied together in some way. So the two main characters, the two Jedi, it's like, they're not there anymore. It's the only thing that we're worried about is whether or not these people die or they somehow become folded into like the massive collection of Sith that have grown.
Right.
Like it's like it leads me to believe that I'm less interested in like what happens to them later. Like but I mean, this is great because it's like, it's like they incorporate the building fun of Legos, like a Star Wars storyline.
Totally.
And I don't know what this Kyber saber is, but it sounds pretty cool.
Name it has saber in it.
Probably made out of Legos.
Probably. The whole universe. More cartoon stuff. Paramount Pictures has hired Napoleon Dynamite's Jared Hess to write and direct a Nicktoons movie that will combine the worlds of classic Nickelodeon cartoon originals like Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats, and Real Monsters. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it always had the exclamation point in it. No specifics are mentioned as to how the Nicktoons movie will blend the show's various worlds, but plans for the feature are likened to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That sounds kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if are people like, are the current generation of kids really going to pick up on like Ren and Stimpy? And
they're not going to know Ren and Stimpy at all.
I mean, they're not going to know it at all, but are they going to like it at all? I mean,
no, but I think that a lot of networks and they're realizing that our generation isn't growing up. And they're banking on that because why else would Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles still be on TV?
Right,
and why else would there be Transformer movie? They're quickly realizing that I guess we're Gen Xers. I think we're right on the cusp of being millennial, but I don't like the idea that
technically we're millennials because we were born in 80, like after the 1980s.
Right.
Like that, right? Yeah.
Well, it's as far as I've researched, it's a pretty weird gray line where the two separate. But anyway, people our age, people that are like 40 to like 30, I guess, are not growing up.
No.
They're like super nostalgic. And they're never going to grow up.
No.
So that's why.
Yeah.
I, for one, didn't have cable growing up, so I don't know who any of those people are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of Doug. I didn't watch Real Monsters. Real Monsters. Ren and Stimpy I liked, but often grossed me out and got too weird for me at the age I was watching it at. And I liked Rugrats.
Yeah.
So that's probably the one I'm biggest fan of out of those.
I liked the first three, Doug, Ren and Stimpy, and Rugrats, because they were on when I could watch them, like at a specific time between violin practice and like homework. So it was like a good time for me to watch TV, and they were on during that time.
Moving into video games, PlayStation has announced that PlayStation VR will launch in October of this year for a retail price of $399. More than 50 games are expected to be available from launch until the end of this year. It should be noted that the price does not include Move controllers or the PlayStation camera, both of which are essential for the system's positional tracking capabilities. So, similar to the Move controllers, there are lights on the front of the PlayStation VR headset, and your movement is tracked by the PlayStation camera in that way. So, if you buy the base set for $399, you basically can't use it unless you get some other stuff.
Yeah.
I think the reason they're doing that, though, is for people like me who have the camera and have the Move controllers and would only need the headset to actually use VR. So I'm kind of excited in the sense that I have half the stuff I need already.
Mm-hmm.
And the Move controllers weren't getting a whole lot of use elsewhere, but I do have them. So if I wanted to, which I'm not necessarily like jumping up and down about, I could, though, go into the PlayStation VR realm and totally be ready for it.
I mean, I think they kind of learned from Microsoft's mistake when Microsoft forced people to buy a Kinect when nobody was developing for Kinect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they took it out. I mean, granted, you are paying a little bit more, but I mean, if you're not being forced to buy something that you don't want, then people are going to buy the thing that they do want, namely a PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
But the PlayStation VR stuff, like, there's been some coverage of it, I guess, recently because there are a couple of conventions going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it looks kind of weird. Like, it looks like what you imagined VR would be 20 years ago.
Right. And now we're finally ready for it.
And it's kind of like clunky
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little weird. Like, I mean, some of the stuff that I have, like, of course, like the driving force behind VR, at least in the media so far, has been porn.
Yeah.
Like, like every news outlet.
But in all honesty, it's weird how often porn is the innovator in technology.
Yeah, it's the driving force behind,
because
like,
that's what people are throwing their money at.
Yeah. But it's like,
Humans.
but like it's so
I'm
weird.
glad you said humans and not men. Thank you.
But it's like so weird. Like the porn VR stuff. I think they did it with like the Samsung VR,
Mm-hmm.
which is like that weird magnifying glass headset.
Oh, sure. Yep.
That you clip the phone to the front of.
Mhm.
Like, it's VR insofar as like you can't really interact with it. Your interaction is limited to
Looking around.
what the people in the environment are doing
Okay.
to you.
Oh, okay.
Like, you don't have any effect on that environment.
Sure.
PlayStation VR is going to be a little different.
Oh, yeah,
obviously.
absolutely.
You're going to be able to interact with your environment. But I mean, can you imagine like you're like standing in your living room and doing like trying to do the VR stuff and like
Well, I live alone, so I don't have to worry about looking ridiculous.
imagine how many videos are going to pop up on YouTube of people swimming on their floor,
Right.
you know, or like doing something like, I don't know, like it. I'm a little excited about it, but also kind of not ready to jump that far into
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
I
Yeah.
have no interest
I
at all.
think it's amazing.
I don't even play first person shooters. I like to see the little guy running in front of me.
Yeah. I think it's amazing. I think that the technology, like, I have a big curiosity about it.
Mhm.
I don't know how much I'm going to get into it, though.
Yeah.
There are a lot of limitations to VR still. Like, obviously, any type of treadmill walking setup would be wicked expensive, and
Yeah.
we're not at a place where they're really implementing that. So the kind of games we're going to see either have to work within a smaller space, or they have to come up with some sort of creative solution to move you around.
Mhm.
A game like Portal lends itself to that kind of idea where you can warp yourself around a level, but there are others that you can't even really attempt
Yeah.
because they just don't make much sense. So I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of like shooting gallery type things.
Mhm.
We're going to see a lot of vehicles which move around kind of on their own. You could be sitting down to do so and you're still moving forward or backward or whatever direction you need. But as far as walking around goes, probably not a ton of that.
Yeah.
But I
Or-
am curious to see how they handle those problems.
Yeah, or so you're gonna have like a lot of people like walking in place. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems a little clunky.
Yeah, I don't want to be standing and marching in one spot
Yeah,
to
that would be
move.
really weird.
And how does it know what my legs are doing?
Yeah,
That's another
exactly.
weird thing. Like, I'm going to have to get some weird knee pads with more lights on them.
Yeah.
Be like, suit up in your rollerblade outfit for the VR experience.
Could have it be like one of those wrist things, like that they count your steps, but you can totally cheat just by like waving
Shaking
your
it,
arms around.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, I did 1,500 steps today. Yeah, okay.
It'll be like the NES track and field game where you can just rub your fingers over
Yeah,
the buttons
right.
real quick, but you'll just be going,
Yeah, right. I'm running so fast right now.
Moving on, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was attached as director and potential star of Neil Gaiman's Sandman movie, but now Gordon-Levitt has announced his departure from the project. An excerpt from his post on Facebook reads, "A while back, David Goyer and I made a producing deal with Warner Brothers to develop a movie adaptation of Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Neil himself came on as an executive producer. We hired the excellent screenwriter Jack Thorne, and we started in on the ambitious task of adapting one of the most beloved and boundary-pushing titles in the world of comics. I was pleased with the progress we were making, even though we still had quite a ways to go. Recently, as you also might know if you like to follow these sorts of things, the sort of ownership, for lack of a better term, of the Sandman material changed hands when Warner Brothers shifted the entire catalog of Vertigo Comics, an imprint of DC, to their subsidiary New Line. And a few months ago, I came to realize that the folks at New Line and I just don't see eye to eye on what makes Sandman special and what a film adaptation could or should be. So unfortunately, I decided to remove myself from the project. I wish nothing but the best for the team moving forward."
Okay, good for him,
Mm-hmm.
but they just need to scrap it and do like a Kickstarter because it sounds like the new one's going to suck.
Well, we know nothing about.
No, but I mean,
The new one.
if a real fan who was like working really
He
hard
is-
at doing
he
like
is a fan,
right.
yeah.
I mean, as soon as they say that they're gonna like go away from the original I don't want to watch it anymore.
Mm.
You know, it's like you want somebody in there that's a fan and wants to do homage to the original.
Right.
So just the fact that that's the issue makes me be like,
That's his response was kind of a diplomatic way of saying, yeah, I didn't like it. I'm out.
they're going to ruin
Yeah.
it. They're going to ruin it.
This
Sorry.
is dumb.
I'm
Like,
leaving.
I don't want to do the thing that
I don't want to be part
make.
of it anymore. That's scary.
See, I have no knowledge of Sandman
Yeah, me neither.
whatsoever.
But I trust Joseph Gordon-Levitt's.
I was
Right.
only interested in the project because Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a part of it, and I'm a fan of him. But
I've read one of them.
I know it
liked
has like
it.
a pretty like strong following.
Oh, yeah.
from what I
People are
It
understand.
dying
does.
for this.
Oh, yeah.
And
Neil
it
Gaiman
sounds-
alone has a big
Yeah.
following. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like, you know, the network took over and it's going to make it into something else, which is just going to make everybody mad. And then it's going to get rebooted like 3 years from now. Then
It's going to go the way of
It's just
Amazing Spider-Man.
yeah, it's just another Hollywood clusterfuck, basically.
Yeah.
New
Sounds
Line
like-
is gonna cast Jai Courtney, and it's just gonna be terrible.
Be like, I thought he was so much skinnier than that.
Yeah, wow, Sandman's really jacked.
No, Mark Wahlberg. It'll be Mark Wahlberg.
Oh God. Yeah, you got. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna bother. Justice League Part 1 has added another member to its cast because we didn't have enough already. With J.K. Simmons set to play Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I saw that. That's going to be weird.
Very weird.
That's going to be so weird.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like as Commissioner Gordon, he could pull it off. We've
Mhm.
seen him
He's amazing.
with a
I
mustache
mean,
already.
yeah.
You know, like, and I mean, just so long as he's not his character from Whiplash, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Because that Commissioner Gordon is way too intense.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
He's just always going to be J. Jonah Jameson
I think
to me.
that's my
I love him.
problem.
He's so good
Mm.
and he can do anything you tell him to.
Yeah.
And he's going to be great, but it's still going to be like, but that's J.
I
Jonah
love
Jameson.
J.K. Simmons. He's a fantastic actor. Fantastic actor. But that voice, as soon as you hear it, is so distinctly J. Jonah Jameson at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, he's established himself in the movies,
Mhm.
in the cartoons.
Yep.
He's everywhere as J. Jonah. And to make him Commissioner Gordon, like that important of a role in another comic book world, feels like not a well thought out decision. I think there's so many other people they could have gotten. And I don't even know if JK is really the right casting for Commissioner Gordon aside from J. Jonah. He's so bombastic
Yep.
Mm.
that this role just doesn't necessarily seem his type of thing.
So quick fantasy casting. Who would you cast?
I loved Gary Oldman.
He was amazing.
I
for it.
loved him as Commissioner Gordon.
nobody that's played Commissioner Gordon.
Damn it.
Okay. Let's see. Oh man, now you're making me think on the spot.
Yeah,
On the spot.
He's starting to look better, isn't he?
Yeah. No, well, no.
No.
There's a
kidding.
lot of ways. The thing is, I think they could have gotten like anybody. There are so many actors that would fit that role well. I would honestly have to do some research because I can't just arbitrarily give answers. Like I'm the type that has to do the background information on it to really give a solid answer there. But there's probably a ton of character actors and things that would be amazing to be elevated to that level and could fill that role so well. And I would love to see them give it to somebody new almost.
One person I could see being either made up to be that or maybe a younger version of Commissioner Gordon is the
Mhm.
guy who plays Littlefinger on Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Like he just has to lose the English accent or the sort of like English Irish accent. And
I could absolutely see that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
he could be it because he's like a little bit more calm, reserved. And,
Yeah, and he needs to have that. Like
Yeah.
JK, I'm not saying he can't be calm and reserved. I'm saying it might be a little harder for him than other people.
I mean, I think when I think of somebody like the type of character J.K. Simmons would be as Commissioner Gordon, I kind of reflect back to his character as Juno's father in Juno. He
Okay.
was a little bit more fatherly, like loving and caring. I mean, Commissioner Gordon is not all those things, but
Yeah.
I mean, he is some of those things. So if you just maybe darken it, turn the light down a little bit, and maybe make it a little bit more intense and weathered, so to speak,
Yeah.
might be a little bit.
I just see him. When I heard it immediately, the first thing that popped in my brain was him saying Batman, like in the way that he says it as Spider-Man as J. Jonah.
Yeah.
And it just seemed really off.
Really weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. The upcoming DC series Powerless has cast some of its stars. The series is a workplace comedy set at one of the worst insurance companies in America and deals with the reality of working life for a normal, powerless person in a world of superheroes and villains. Vanessa Hudgens has been set to headline the series in the role of Emily Locke, an insurance claims adjuster who loves helping people and keeping a low profile in order to get her work done. Alan Tudyk will play Dell, Emily's overeducated dictator of a boss in the claims department, who also happens to be the owner's son. Danny Pudi will play Teddy, Emily's prank-pulling work friend and trusted confidant. Christina Kirk will play Jackie, Dell's overworked personal assistant, whose office cubicle is covered with beefcake shots of superheroes.
I kind of like it. Everything was, Alan Tudyk and Danny Pudi, I think, are going to be a good shot.
Oh,
of,
absolutely.
like, comedic jolt.
Yep.
Vanessa
I love
Hudgens.
Alan Tudyk. He's great.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And it's funny because Tudyk has voiced Superman on many
Yeah,
occasions
yeah, that's
in
true.
animated things.
Vanessa Hudgens, I haven't seen her in a while, so I don't know.
I don't know if I've really seen her in anything. I know she's done plenty of stuff. I just don't think it's the stuff I normally watch.
The last thing I saw her in was Spring Breakers, and that
that was a weird movie.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about Christina Kirk.
No, me neither.
But it sounds kind of cool, like office comedy, insurance.
I'm happy just to see them trying different things.
Yeah.
I love that superhero is a genre that we can now make different things inside of it.
Yep.
That is exciting alone. So I support until one of these things says, "Oh, I suck,"
Yeah.
and I'm out. Then I'm supporting.
Yeah. I just hope they don't like oversaturate. I know it's going to deal with like the fallout of superheroes fighting, but if they say Superman in an episode more than like 4 or 5 times, and it's like,
Right.
stop. Like,
And knowing these type of shows, they'll do it in like the first 2 or 3 episodes will just be way too many references.
Yeah.
But they'll find their footing.
like the
Yeah.
writing premise of an entire episode is that Superman is actually a prick.
Yeah.
Because he's just making my job 10 times harder. Like,
right. As rumored back in 2014, Amazon Studios and Sony Pictures Television are looking to breathe new life into the great blue bug of justice, the Tick.
I saw that.
Although Patrick Warburton won't be reprising the title role, he is attached as an executive producer. Casting is already underway, with vinyl star Griffin Newman set to play Arthur, the accountant-turned-moth-themed superhero, while House of Lies' Valerie Curry will play his sister Dot.
like when you guys say that somebody to you is a certain character, like Patrick Warburton
Is the Tick.
the Tick.
I don't
Yeah.
know how they're gonna.
I literally know no one else who has played him or voiced him, right?
Well, he didn't voice the Tick in the series.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Oh, I thought he did.
Nope.
But yeah, Patrick Warburton is the Tick.
Yeah,
Like, that's a hard one to get over.
it is. Most of the comments, although it was only like 3 episodes that
Yeah.
aired.
But it was like I remember it vividly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Most of the comments I saw following these news articles were, but we want more cartoon Tick.
Yeah.
Like, why live action?
Yeah.
He was strong, really strong as a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not making it. Warner Brothers Home Entertainment has revealed that the upcoming animated movie Justice League vs. Teen Titans will debut digitally on March 29th, with a DVD and Blu-ray release to follow on April 12th. That seems to be the pattern now for the straight-to-video DC movies, is that they release about a week or 2 prior on digital before the physical release comes out.
Yeah, you always see it on iTunes like a week ahead, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Which is a bummer for me when they send me the physical versions of them and everybody's already seen it. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, but then you can have them and love them forever.
I do. But Justice League vs. Teen Titans looks very interesting. There's, of course, some sort of mind control element going on with the Justice League that makes them have to battle the Teen Titans. We're getting a different version of the Titans here. This will be the first incarnation of the Teen Titans where Damian Wayne is the Robin in the group. And I believe Starfire is actually the leader. So it'll be slightly different, but it'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that one shot from the trailer where they're like, we don't have a plan to beat Superman. Wait, do you have a plan to beat Superman? And Damian kind of gives that smile.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm the Batman of this group.
Right. Of course I have a plan to take down Superman.
I have a plan for everyone, including you.
It's Justice League Doom all over again.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel has revealed release dates for Fast and Furious 9 and 10, Paul.
Yes! I'm so excited.
The 9th installment will arrive on April 19th, 2019, and the 10th will follow on April 2nd, 2021. Prior to the announcement, the 8th movie in the franchise had already been set to hit theaters on April 14th, 2017.
I can't wait to hear how many times The Rock says, "Some bitch." I'm gonna take my boot and shove it up that some bitch.
So every other year we're getting a new Fast and Furious movie.
Oh my goodness.
I am surprised and yet not surprised that we're getting more after the whole Paul Walker thing.
Yeah.
You would have thought there would have been some vein inside of Vin Diesel that said, "My brother's dead." wait, let me try to do this more Vin Diesel-y. I was even being too high voiced for Vin Diesel. "My brother's dead. I can't do these movies anymore."
No, it's like super low. Taron Killam does it. He did it on an SNL sketch. It's like
Dr. Claus out, "I'm Vin Diesel."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it's like kind of like really slow talking. It's like
He does talk.
Yeah.
"I am Groot."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But
Just do that.
I'm excited.
I don't know.
I like the Fast and Furious movies. I've said it before in a random movie club. It's like it's partly nostalgic, but also like the part of me that loves action movies and just the ridiculousness of the last one that they made.
Right.
And they acknowledge that it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was crazy to see cars fall out of a plane and land safely. Like, and like the over the topness of it and just they still know what butters their bread, and that's kind of like the racing aspect of it. So they inject it every now and again, but they know also that The Rock is a huge action star.
He is.
And he does not fit in these small, fast cars. So we need to give him a vehicle too. And that's a vehicle literally and metaphorically. Like, give him a giant truck, but also let him blow up half of LA. Or like, spoilers for the most recent movie, The Rock drives an ambulance into a drone.
He does.
Yeah, he takes a drone out of the sky with an ambulance.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
And finally,
they should make like Fast and Furious like realistic cut and just have the cars just
that would be
completely
terrible.
explode.
It'd be
just
10
like
minutes
it
long.
like falls out, it just like blows up, everybody dies.
It wouldn't even be 10 minutes long. They take off and then they get pulled over 5 minutes later.
Right.
End of movie.
I'm waiting for the inevitable.
I mean, just the crashes. Have you guys seen the like behind the scenes of the Dukes of Hazzard and
No.
watching those cars actually
No.
like not make
No.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they wreck multiple versions
yeah.
of a car for a movie. Like,
Yeah. That-
Yeah.
For the James Bond movies, like an Aston Martin, a car that costs more than like a graduate school education.
Mm-hmm.
They wrecked like 20 of those
Yeah.
for or for either Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Like they in that one scene where they roll over the Aston, they 20 cars.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
Totally worth it.
So awesome.
But like you got to imagine, like they have an entire department dedicated to like cars in the Fast and the Furious, where they build like 7 or 8 or 10 copies of the car because they know they're gonna have to shoot the scene several times.
Yeah.
And so that the black Charger that Dominic, that Vin Diesel drives, like they build like a car lot full of these things.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not like that car is easy to come by. It's an old car. It's a classic car. So it's like, it's insane, like the scale and the level that they go to. And I personally, I can appreciate that. Also, I mean, it's just, fun times.
Yep.
Although they did show on the Mythbusters that it's extremely hard to make a car catch on fire.
True.
Yeah.
They like don't catch on fire.
Well, they do in this world.
Oh.
They actually no, it's
That's
actually
all they do.
Yeah.
it wasn't that hard to get it to catch on fire. It was that they couldn't get it to explode.
Right,
Is what it
right,
was. Like
right.
it would catch on fire like a little bit, like NASCAR. Like it would be like, oh look, there's some fire. But they couldn't get it to explode.
Oh, but in the world of Fast and Furious, that's all the cars
In
do.
the world of all of Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They all have C4 stuffed in the trunk.
yeah.
They all drive fast and eventually explode.
You like shoot it with one bullet nowhere near the gas tank and it blows up. Like we're all just driving around bombs. Like ticking time bombs.
You can't just shoot the car. You need to shoot the car and have a slow motion bullet sequence where you see the bullets flying through the air.
There was talk a little while ago of a Hasbro movie universe being formed using like Transformers and G.I. Joe. And I'm waiting for the Transformers G.I. Joe / Fast and Furious mesh when they go, wait, The Rock's in both. He can be Roadblock and the guy from Fast and Hobbs. He's Roadblock Hobbs. Yeah. And he drives an 18-wheeler Transformer because it's going to happen. Yeah. Mark my words.
And we'll start up this sumbitch. Wasn't there like another... Oh, there is a movie crossover that I remember. Speaking of crossovers, I know it's not relevant, but speaking of crossovers, like they're crossing over Men in Black and the 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like other than the end credits of 22 Jump Street, like how does that work?
The producers or writers of 22 Jump Street have said that in their mind, all of those sequels that they put as a joke at the end of 22 Jump Street are canon. So if they keep making them, they have to just keep doing those movies.
Wow. Because some of those, they got patently ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. As they went further, they were just so dumb.
Like there was like 33 Jump Street Veterinary School or something like that.
It's the weirdest crossover, and I have zero interest in it whatsoever.
Like it's so weird. I don't understand it.
I think it's simply that they're owned by the same studio. That's like as far as it goes.
We are out of ideas.
Right.
We have 0 ideas left.
Guys, I have an idea.
Start putting 2 movies together.
I have an idea. All we have to do is secure some capital funding, but we can start our own movie studio. And as long as we are as ridiculous as possible, but we acknowledge that we are ridiculous,
right,
we will be successful. So remember that movie that I pitched to you earlier when The Rock?
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I mean, we could make that movie.
We can make it.
We just need the funding, right? Yeah. I mean, if you want to do a crossover where all of the universes of The Rock somehow mashed together in some sort of shared world, we can do it.
Our bottom line, though, is The Rock has to be in every movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What we're saying is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Will you join us in this ridiculous journey?
And do all the work.
and do most of the work.
And most of the funding.
And most of the funding.
But we will be sure to promote you on Instagram.
That's right. Because he needs us. Paramount Pictures, speaking of all this craziness, Paramount Pictures has announced release dates for 3 more Transformers movies. One of them must be Fast and Furious related. 3 more Transformers movies, each set to hit theaters with only a year in between. Transformers. Well, it's not like they were taking any time on the special effects, so this is easy, no problem. Transformers 5, to be directed by Michael Bay, is set to arrive on June 23rd, 2017.
No, it's my birthday! Damn it!
Where it will open against Warner Brothers' upcoming Wonder Woman movie.
Guess which one I'm going to.
Yeah, me too.
Guess.
A Bumblebee spin-off movie will then see release on June 8th, 2018, where it will compete with Legendary's Godzilla sequel. Guess which movie I'm going to go see.
I don't think compete is the right word for what is going to happen.
Finally, Transformers 6 will drop the following year on June 28th, 2019. Further details have not yet been confirmed. Except for the fact that it will probably suck.
Except for the fact that I'm not going to watch them.
Well, there was some hope for it. I mean, not a while ago, but maybe a few months ago, Robert Kirkman was confirmed to be somehow involved with the Transformers movie.
Really?
What?
Robert Kirkman, like Walking Dead Robert Kirkman?
Yeah.
But then he left the project.
Yeah, because he was probably, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
He just wanted to see how stupid it was going to be, and then it was like, I'm out.
I'm using my Hollywood writing credit to somehow like shoehorn my way into a project, only to see how terrible it is and then leave it.
Exactly. The CW has officially picked up the pilot episode for a live-action Archie-inspired TV series titled Riverdale. The 1-hour drama will be written by Archie Comics Chief Creative Officer Roberto Aguirre-Sicasa and offers a subversive take on Archie, Betty, Veronica, and their friends exploring small-town life and the darkness and weirdness bubbling beneath Riverdale's wholesome facade. The show will focus on the eternal love triangle of Archie Andrews, girl next door Betty Cooper, and rich socialite Veronica Lodge, and will include the entire cast of characters from the comic books, including Archie's rival, Reggie Mantle, and his slacker best friend, Jughead Jones. In addition to the core cast, Riverdale will introduce other characters from Archie Comics' expansive library, including Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay. I'm sure somebody will want to watch that.
I mean, Archie does have a following. I know a bunch of people that
it even has like a rebirth following.
Yeah.
Like there are some things that Archie has been doing recently that I've heard comic fans be like, oh my God, it's like so cool.
Archie versus Predator.
There was that.
Yeah.
There was a thing called like Archie Afterlife.
Yeah, like yeah,
with like undead and stuff, and it was very popular.
Yeah.
And apparently written really, really well from what I've heard. So there is like a modern incarnation of Archie that people are digging. So the show, I guess, makes sense as a response to that. From what I've heard of people that have gotten a lot of details about Riverdale, it's that it's almost going to be kind of like a Twin Peaks style idea where Riverdale, the town itself, is kind of a character. And there's just weird shit going on all over the place. And it's all being covered up by like this, like they said, kind of like a wholesome facade. But the town is actually just really messed up.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it almost seems like CW does Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Which could be interesting.
Sure.
So I'll give it a shot. Netflix and Lionsgate have announced that Orange is the New Black, the comedic drama set in a woman's prison, has been renewed for 3 additional seasons. Season 4 of the series will premiere Friday, June 17th, and additional seasons 5, 6, and 7 will premiere in future years. Do either of you watch?
No.
I'm starting to.
Yeah.
I'm starting to. It's good. I like it. I don't know how far they can go with it though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I admittedly I have very limited experience with it, but I'm not sure where the following season. I'm still on season 1, so I don't know where like the following seasons kind of go with it. But it is a good show. It's well acted too, which is, I mean, there's not a whole lot to hide behind in that show.
Sure.
Because the environment is not, I mean, the environment itself is kind of a character, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of flashing that you can hide behind. And so the substance definitely needs to be there. And, they do have some like great actors on that show. So.
Yeah, that's true. Lastly, Sci-Fi has announced a 2nd season renewal for their drama series The Magicians, expected to air for 13 episodes in 2017. Anyone else watching The Magicians?
I'm not.
No.
I am, and it is surprisingly good.
My sister watches it and she really likes it. Yeah.
I know it's based off of a book series, and I talked to someone who's a big fan of it and said that they're doing a lot of things right. Like the person they got to play the main character, Quentin Coldwater, this actor is like visually and in mannerism and speech pattern, like what you would have thought of reading the book and being like, oh, I imagine him to be like this. This guy's like nailing it, apparently. So that's great.
Nice.
They've changed some other characters a little bit, but from what I've heard, also for the better. So where the book may have made a couple missteps, the series seems to be fixing those as they're going along, which is interesting. That seems to be a similar take as to what The Walking Dead, at least what Robert Kirkman has said he was trying to do with the show, is there are things that he regretted doing in the book that, like, chopping off Rick's hand that he necessarily isn't going to do.
Not the best
idea. Right. Not for a series, at least. No. But no, it's good. It actually makes me a little disappointed that we had the opportunity to interview that cast and didn't do it for many reasons, none of which were really ours, but more so on the PR side that just became a problem. But if we do get the opportunity again, I definitely will, because I'm really enjoying the show, actually.
That's a good thing for me, too, because I read a lot. So when I'm done with what I'm reading now, that's something I can look up, which would be great.
Yeah. That is it for the news. Final thoughts? Something you would like to plug, Anna?
I want to say hi to a fan.
Oh.
Hi, Craig. Hi. Thanks for listening. That's all. That's all.
Thanks for listening, Craig. I don't know you, but thank you. Paulo?
I don't have anything to plug, but, of course, do all the things that support the podcast. Go to thegeekgeneration.com and see everything that you can do to support us here. I also would like to give a shout out to a bunch of my friends who I know are listening now and have made steps towards actually contributing to like the review pool and stuff like that. So I want to say what's up to Bob and Keoki. I know you guys are listening, and everybody else that has supported the podcast because I posted things on Facebook.
Wait, so your friends are both listening and none of mine are?
No, I didn't know Craig.
Oh.
Craig's a legit fan.
Oh.
I'd met him after. He's
Okay.
like, he knew who I was.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
I was a little jealous that like other people know people who are listening and none of my friends
No, my
actually
friends
listen.
do not listen to the podcast.
And I also, I mean, to be fair, I kind of like, some of my friends I've guilted into it. Bob is a different story. Bob
He's spamming the shit out of his friends.
If you weren't guilting people into it, then I don't even know what you're doing here. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, Bob's listening to it for a different reason. He's actually genuinely interested in what we do. 'Cause
Sure.
He actually works in Hollywood, so like he likes to hear the fans sort of
Wait.
reaction.
Bob works in Hollywood? Bob, let's talk.
Yeah,
Please
he's
contact podcast the Geek Generation.
Exactly.
Yeah, but other of my friends, yeah, they listen just because I'm like, yeah, aren't you loyal? Like, be loyal.
Yeah.
Be loyal, bro.
It's the stuff you like anyway.
Yeah, just listen.
We're talking about it.
Just listen, bro.
That's all. Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
Every sentence ends with bro.
Bro.
Come on.
Come on, bro.
All right, to see everything else we do, head on over to thegeekgeneration.com. If you use iTunes, please rate the show and write a review. We always appreciate those. You can like us at facebook.com/thegeekgeneration and follow at Geek Generation on Twitter. Watch live podcasts and gaming at twitch.tv/thegeekgeneration. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Night Angel. Support the show by going to thegeekgeneration.com/support. Send emails to podcast@thegeekgeneration.com. Bob. As always, the show theme is provided by Machine Supremacy. A link to their site can also be found on our site. We'll be back really soon with more geeky stuff for you, and we will see you then. Later.
Make it so.